Hi, my name's Kelly and I channel my spirit guides, and I am kind of on a streak now of channeling Nana Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, and the Morrigan, who is like a Celtic goddess of war, and everything else, whatever. My past videos are explain everything. So today I would like to ask them about meditation, because everything comes down to raising your frequency, because your thoughts are what create your reality. So meditation is detoxing your thoughts. And I have a lot of resistance to meditating. I'm trying to tackle it from all different directions. Bribing myself, thinking, contemplating the benefits of it, playing around with what time of day, the rhythm. I know it needs to be in the morning. I mean, that's the best. So if I can work towards that, that's great. But sometimes I don't start with the time of day, because building a habit is complicated. So I would like their advice on my personal unique path towards meditating, because apparently meditation is being in communion. True communion with Source happens in meditation. And Adrian is the one who used the word communion. Meditation as communion. I think that is what I would like this video to be titled. And I would like the Morrigan and Nana Anna to bless my thoughts as I speak. How do we see meditation as communion? Dear Kelly, we're helping you take a deep breath, because you did not meditate before you started recording. We're laughing because it's so obvious. Like, just do it. Just do it. Just meditate. Stop thinking about it all the time. You're putting it off. You want us to motivate you to meditate after the video? Okay. Okay. It's okay. We just think it's funny. It's just, what is the word? How strange is it? There's a better word, but how strange is it that sitting in silence is frightening? It's frightening to you. Why is it frightening to you to sit in silence? Because you're allowing scary voices to speak to you, and you're believing what they're saying. That's what happens in meditation, is that you start hearing your thoughts that are just there all day long. These thoughts are going through your head all day long, but you're distracting yourself from them by doing things. So when you tell yourself, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to distract myself from these thoughts, you're going to have to look at those thoughts. And there's a reason why you're distracting yourself from them. They don't feel good. Well, the only reason they don't feel good is because you have veils over your consciousness that are blocking love. So the only way to remove those veils is to see them. And the only way to see them is to stop distracting yourself from them. So meditation itself is worship. It's worshiping love when you meditate, because you're blocking out all the distractions, all the veils that are coming from outside of you, because your truth is love. But as long as you're physical, you're having an experience of separation from God or love. So when you close your eyes and you close your ears by removing yourself from noisy situations, whether you put yourself in an egg, or you put yourself 40 acres deep into the woods, or you get up really early when everyone's asleep, or you hike somewhere that no one else is willing to hike to, and you find a place to be alone for the sake of not allowing in any distractions. That's when you're willing to get to know yourself. And you are love. And that's as simple as it gets. And it's accessible to you when you close your eyes and you find a quiet place and you allow yourself to be present with all of the feelings. You feel it all. It's hard to feel things in front of people because whenever you're around people, you filter everything with your relationship with them. Okay? If you have a safe relationship with them, your filter is going to be more accurate to your truth. But if you have a relationship with them where you don't trust them and you can't be vulnerable with them, then your filter is not going to allow you to be honest with yourself. So being alone is the best place to be honest with yourself. And if you're not spending any time alone, or whenever you are alone, you're scrolling or you're distracted, you're not getting to know yourself. You have to be in the silence to get to know yourself because that's the only place you can hear the truth. Otherwise, you're filtering it. And that's quantum psychology. When you're around other people, you filter what you're seeing through their eyes because that's just the mammal. The mammal is compassionate and empathetic by nature. You're built with those hormones so you'll reproduce. Love helps humans reproduce, so you have hormones inside you that make you compassionate when you're in a relaxed state. When you're scared or traumatized, you're in a fighting state, a protective state, a defensive state, an egoic state, when you feel guilty about something. So here on Earth, we're watching an experiment of how pain separates you from God. Okay, and there's an objective, there's a layer where you can be objective about it because it's necessary for free will to exist, that you explore the opposite of love. And what's the opposite of love? Evil, hatred, pain, right? So unfortunately, but free will requires that humans at least sample evil, hatred, and pain because it's the opposite of love and you have to choose. So nobody would really choose that unless it was like coming and going from it so that it's kind of fun. Okay? But eventually you're like, ugh, every time I get closer to that, it's like less and less interesting. And then you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this child's play of love and hate, okay? And friction and competition and all that. I can't even tolerate it anymore. I actually can't tolerate it anymore. I will work really hard to avoid drama. I don't want drama in my life at all, anywhere. So when you're sitting to meditate, having this foundation of information that says, meditation is worship. The next step is to tell yourself, which we can do. Kelly's learning by teaching hypnosis that you can just simply tell yourself how it is, and so it is. That you hear those crows? Okay, they're everywhere. Okay, step 2 is to tell yourself that meditation is where you're going to find your highest bliss every single day. Because bliss is your foundation of creation, and the veils are blocking your consciousness from the bliss. And when you close your eyes, you lift the veils. You lift some of them. And we just invite you to be open to receiving the joy that comes from lifting the veils that happens naturally when you close your eyes. Of course, it's a paradox, but that's just how it is. It's a hologram. It's a projection. There's inverses to things, and that's why there's a paradox everywhere, because it's like in order to create duality, you had to invert something to create duality. And that's why there's 2 pyramids. One's upward and one's inverted, and they're just on top of each other like the Merkaba. The Merkaba is an inverted pyramid over an upright pyramid. And I don't know much about that except that they want me to look at the geometry of that. That's the Jewish star is the same thing. The Jewish star is the two-dimensional version of the Merkaba, which is a pyramid going up and a pyramid going down, which is representative of masculine and feminine in union. The Merkaba represents your masculine and feminine in union. Why were you talking about that? The inversion that happens during meditation, you close your eyes, but you lift the veils. When you close your eyes, you lift the veils. When you close your eyes, you see more clearly the version of reality that would be witnessed by love. When you're channeling, you're trying to listen to love. You're trying to hear a voice for love. That's what everybody's doing when they're channeling. But they all have different contracts with different archetypes to tell the story. So all the channelers right now are scribes of some kind telling the story. And you're going to hear your personal version of the story in meditation. And it's going to come to you in the language that works for you, whether it's pictures, whether it's words, whether it's feelings, whether it's memories, whether it's silence that then later shows up through animals or synchronicities or random conversations or strange numbers, repeated words that are, or songs on the radio, okay? That's how it begins for many people, or signs that are like, mathematically, that doesn't make sense. Okay, for Kelly, she doesn't see crows, generally. This is new. And the herons and the cormorants, because of that river, the cormorants. I don't know what that bird was flying, but kind of holding still in the air and flying, like against the wind, was balancing its flight. And it just held still. Seen that before. So anyway, the birds are really loud right now, though. Okay. Kelly's going to have to go back and watch this again because she's in an altered state of consciousness that's outside of her memory. Her amygdala is dormant, or the recent memory goes dormant during channeling, because channeling reaches into your dream state brain where you have images and feelings are really close together, playing with primal archetypes that are operating in our subconscious all the time, sleeping and waking. These archetypes are kind of having these relationships in her mind, and she's awake to it and she's asleep to it in varying states and varying alternate states of consciousness. Anyway, and the language for this is challenging. We don't have the right words for it. So it's like translation. You've got to go into a feeling place, an observation place, a contemplation place in your mind, and observe what's happening when you meditate. What's happening? What does that thought cause you to feel? Is it scary? Is it so scary to feel that you want to close that feeling down, which means you have to do something with that thought? What you do with that thought is you choose between truth and lies. And it's so fast, it can be unconscious. That's triggered. Okay, so how do you prepare yourself to be less triggered? Well, it's like an onion. You peel the outside layer first. Okay. And the outside layer is going to be something you can deal with. Something that you're not paying attention to, and you know you're not paying attention to it. And you could pay attention or could not. You could go either way, but you're building a habit. So you really want to start paying attention to the superficial things first. Because as you do anything, you do everything. So as you start cleaning up the little things that you're just being lazy about, you take care of that outer layer, and then the second layer becomes more obvious. And you can't ignore it. So just making the decision to heal, to get healthy, to clean up, just making the decision to go in that direction with whatever opportunity shows up next for you, that is a choice to ascend. That is the process of ascension, is choosing to be whole and live in integrity by living clean and honest and consciously, mindfully, taking responsibility for yourself. A lot of it begins with cleaning up after yourself, and then you find that you're just being more and more and more responsible with what you clean up after. You clean up after messes that you see other people make because you know that you're doing well and there were times where you needed help, but now you're doing well, you can give help, you pay it forward because you know this is duality and there's going to come a time where you need someone's help. Are you kidding me? Two of them. Where are you guys? Oh, I can't tell. Yeah. Okay. You left. So, I forget what I was saying. It's back. Okay. Morgan, Nana Anna. That's a lot to take in. I feel like that was a lot. And I was very altered. That's the word. Altered states of consciousness. I was very altered for this channeling. Losing track of time. I am. I think I'm like really solid in the 40. I am, if anything. Okay, so the take home for this channeling, Kelly, is to consider meditation. Your meditative time during the day is going to be where you can experience your highest joy, is during meditation, because you're going to remove veils, and the more you consciously remove those veils through this whole process of light body awareness, everything, you're going to trust it more. At first, your ego's like, I'm scared to fix and heal things, and it sabotages you. But eventually, with effort, go through the dark night of the soul, and you're like, I got no other choice. I just got to keep going. Eventually, when you get to that point where you fight through, you're not going to be so scared of it, and you're going to be able to remove the veils more easily. And that's when there's nothing stopping you. You're just continuously living in trust and faith, and it's very easygoing. It's blissful because you have no resistance and you just allow joy in because you're always expecting things to work out. If you expect things to work out, you can walk through life in a state of trust, and that is going to be your oxitocic state, your endorphic state. What else? Serotonin, dopamine. Okay, those good feeling hormones are going to be optimized when you don't feel threatened, when you feel safe because you expect everything to work out. See, these birds haven't been in these videos and they're just making all this noise up there. So create a foundation and listen to your truth and block out all the distractions, and you will be able to live in an oxitocic state throughout your day, where you're just allowing love to dominate your bodily functions and physiology. Your physiology is dominated by love. When you live in your parasympathetic for 95% of the day, which is how humans are meant to live. Okay, if anything is pulling you out of an oxitocic state throughout the day, question that. How important is it? You should only allow into your life a cortisol state for 5% of your day. Okay, so Kelly's going to go do the math and figure out of the 16 waking hours, what's 5% and how much coffee could she have? That's my new goal. Have as much coffee as I can, but stay in parasympathetic. It's become a game. Hi, bells. Hi, bells. I live. There's bells go off every hour. Okay. There's 20 minutes of random channeling and babbling about meditation. I have no idea what I just said. So thank you, Morgan, and thank you, Nana Anna. I have no idea where you're going with things. But it's good. It's going to be good. It's just I have no idea what it's going to look like. Much love.